Okay, so when you're multiplying, you're going to have something like this. You'll have some variable, and it's going to be raised to an exponent. So we'll say x raised to the a power. And then it's going to be multiplied by another variable raised to maybe a different number, like b. We'll call it a and b. So this is how this works. When you multiply these two, you keep the base. So the x just stays a x. And then you take these little exponents and you add them together. So it becomes a plus b. Okay? So whatever those numbers happen to be, you add them together. So let me show you something like a super basic one, okay? With numbers. So let's say that you had 2 to the 3rd power times 2 to the 5th power, okay? So this one doesn't even have variables in it. This is just numbers. And this works with numbers also. Like you don't have to have a variable in the bottom. It can be just as long as it's the same thing. So it has to be the same base. That's what this number, this 2 right here is called the base. And then the 3 and the 5 are called the exponents. And so up here, the x is the base and the a and the b are the exponents. So what you would do is, well, you would do 2, that would stay a 2, and then you would do 3 plus 5 up in the top. And so we can simplify that because we can do 3 plus 5. So this would be 2 to the 8th power. Okay? And so why do we add? Like, why is this working out this way? Well, that's because 2 to the 3rd power is 2 times 2 times 2. It means you have 3 of them. 2 to the 5th power is 2, 2, 2, 2, one more, 2. You have 5 of them. And so what are we doing? We're multiplying these things. So if you're multiplying them, what ends up happening? Well, you end up having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them in total. So that's why it ends up being 2 to the 8th power, okay? Because when you're raising something to an exponent, that means you're multiplying it by itself that many times. So I don't expect you to expand this out for all of these every single time. That would be like a whole lot of work and it would be hard to stay organized. Instead, you are going to use this rule up here. Okay? And that's what we're doing today. That's what we're practicing today. You just have to make sure that it's the same base. If these are different bases, like if you have an X here and a Y here, then you can't do this rule, okay? So I'm gonna make a little note right here. Must have the same base, okay? Otherwise, you can't do this. So let's do some examples, okay? And then we'll work our way up to some like more challenging ones so that way you're prepared for the homework. So another example. And feel free to stop me if I'm going too fast. The good thing about me recording this is that you can always get it on the replay and like pause it when you want to and like watch it again, that kind of stuff. All right, so let's do, how about this one? What if you had W to the 7th power times W to the 4th power? Okay, well, you're multiplying. You have the same base, which is W. So you're just going to do this rule. Keep the base, which is W, and then you're going to add the 7 and the 4. When you add them, they go up in the top. So it'll be W to the 11th power. And that's your final answer. Like you can't go any further than that. Like that's it. Okay. Let's try this one. How about a to the 9th power times a? Now, I do this one as an example because a lot of times this like tricks people and I don't want it to trick you guys. So the exponent on this is a 9. You can see that very easily. What is the exponent on this one right here?
One.
Right, good. It's a 1. It's not 0. A lot of people see nothing there and they think it's a 0. Not a 0. It's really a 1 right there. So that's the part you have to remember, okay? The exponent, when you just have a plain old letter, is actually a 1. So maybe we'll put that over here. A is the same as a to the 1st power. Okay. Right now, you might look at that and be like, well, of course it is, but you would be surprised the number of people that miss this on a test just for that reason. So don't be one of those people. All right, so you have the same base, so you're going to keep the base and you're going to add the 9 and the 1. So this will be 9 plus 1 like that, which is a to the 10th power. Okay. Okay. So that's the basics. Now, of course, they're not always going to be that easy. Of course, if you've already snuck a peek at the homework, you're like, that is not what the homework is like. So let's do some ones that like are a little bit harder. So it's still the same rule though. Nothing really changes. You just have to keep track of your variables, okay? So let's see, let's do something like this. Like how about 4x squared times 3x to the 5th. So this one's got exponents and you have numbers in the front. These numbers in the front are called coefficients. So those are just plain old numbers, guys. They're like nothing, there's nothing fancy about that 4 and that 3. So all you're going to do is multiply these like you normally would. Multiply those. And you're going to get 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, so nothing changes there. Just plain old multiplication like you would do any other multiplying. This is the new stuff right here with the x squared and the x to the 5th. So see how you have the same variable, you have the same base. So you write down the x. And now you're going to take the 2 and the 5 and add them, just like that. So your final answer would be 12x to the 7th. And that's your final answer. There's nothing else that you can do with that. Okay? Any questions, ladies? Anything so far? Nora, any questions? Anything? Question? No. You guys, any questions? Anthony, Chastity, Kel, y'all good? Give me a thumbs up or like a green check mark or something. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Very good. Okay, let's do another one. All right, so I got the Christmas colors going here. Okay, so for this one, let's crank it up just a little bit here. So let's do 8x to the 4th y squared like that times -3x to the 4th y to the 9th like that. Okay, more variables, coefficients in the front, you even have a negative sign in there. There's all kinds of stuff going on, but still, let's keep it easy, right? So what is this training your brain to do? You have to be organized and you have to be observant. Like you have to force yourself to be a detail person when you're doing your algebra. It disciplines your mind to notice all the little things and also keep it very organized. And so that's how it makes you have an awesome mind when you're an adult. Obviously, not all of you, probably only a small percentage of you are going to go on and do like this kind of math when you're an adult. But I get that. But all of you are going to need to be organized and observant when you're adults. And so this forces your brain to be that way. Okay, I'll stop lecturing about that now. All right, so you're going to multiply the numbers. Okay, always do that. I just do that first and get it out of the way, right? So 8 times -3 is -24. Now we're going to be super organized and we're going to be observant. Keep the X's with the X's and the Y's with the Y's. Don't go adding all those exponents. You got to just add the X ones and then just add the Y ones, okay? So here's the X. Maybe if I circle it, here's the X and here's the X. If you have highlighters or like different color pens, this is good. This is a good opportunity for all your different colors. So you got the X, put the X down, add the exponents. So this will be 4 plus 4. And then, let's see, I got a pen here. If I circle the Y's to keep them together, you would write the Y down, and then you would add 2 plus 9, like that. So your final answer for this would be -24, x to the 8th, y to the 2 plus 9, 11. And that would be your answer. Okay. Okay, I've got 2 more examples. Let's take a look at the next one. Actually, I'm fresh start here. 2 more examples. So let's do this one. 2y times -5y squared times 3y cubed. So this one has 3 and only one of them has parentheses around it. Don't worry about that. It's still multiplication. You're still doing the same thing. So sometimes your homework will have parentheses around them. Sometimes it'll be a dot in between. It's all multiplication. So you're still doing the same thing. So we're going to multiply the numbers first. Do the coefficients first. So 2 times -5 times 3. So 2 times -5 is -10. And then -10 times 3 is -30. Okay. Now we're going to do the y's. We have the same variable in all 3 of these. So I can do this all together. Okay. So this one has 3 of them. That's okay. You're still going to just add all the exponents. Remember that the exponent right here is 1. Okay. Got to remember that that's a 1 right there. So this will be y, and then you're going to add all those exponents. So it'll be 1 plus 2 plus 3. Okay. Go ahead and simplify that. And I'll give you like a second and we'll compare answers. I want to see what you have here for homework. Make sure that I cover everything that you're going to be expected to do. So this is going to be negative 30y to the 6th power, like that. Okay? Okay, now I'm going to give you one to try on your own, and then I'll work it out. But first, I want you to just try it by yourself. So here we go. All right, so without me talking you through it, try that one, and I'll check back with you in like a minute or so. All right. So I'm noticing, okay, hold on, I'll check with you in just a second. Alrighty, so when we do this one, let's go over it. So you should have 8 times 10, which is 80. Then you have the C, the variable C that you need to keep together. So you would write the C down and do 2 plus 3. And then remember, this D right here has an exponent, which is 1. I hope I didn't catch any of you on that one. We just talked about that in the last example, and you had it again. So this is going to be D to the 1 plus 5, like that. So your answer will be 80 C to the 5th, D to the 6th. Okay? Okay, so that's the basics of today's homework. I did though notice that today's homework is going to have a little bit of a change. So I'm gonna change it out and I'm gonna stop the recording also.